The 2005 Monaco Windsor. The customer's complaining that their slide out's leaking. It seems to be a very common problem on Monacos. Says it's coming in this cabinet right in the corner here. So there's a driver's side front slide out, and only when it's raining does it have a problem. I've already taken the fascia off, so just the decorative fascia. Looks just like this. It's a piece of trim and then a piece of plywood underneath. Looks like this right here. Now you can kind of see water damage right there. If I were to pull these screws out, you'll see that inside the screws, you'll see the screws themselves show some water damage on it. This is at the rear. He said it was leaking mostly at the front. You can kind of see how rusty that screw is right there. So I'm going to just continue taking this fascia apart so we can see hopefully where the water leak's coming from. I'm assuming it's coming from where this aluminum is wrapped around the actual roof itself, that the seal gave out right here or on the back side. You guys will have a better view than me. But that's what the back side would look like. So we'll take a look at that. Hopefully if I make this video, that means I found the problem. They just wanted me to replace the slide out seals. Although they look worn, the slide out seals won't cause water to come in the cabinets at all. That's going to be the box itself, the seal around the way the box was built. Not looking forward to this. Let me tear this apart some more and we'll see if we can find anything. So that trim just comes off. It's just held on with some sealant, adhesive, and some, these are pin nails. You can see, those aren't brad nails, those are pin nails. A little bit smaller. More like needles. Alright, so there's that, and you can definitely see that screw's rusted out too. So that's not encouraging at all. This metal fascia is actually part of structure. It keeps the top of the box from sagging because it's actually structure. And this is what the sealing surface actually is too. The wood on top, that's just decorative so that you don't have to look at this thing right here. The other bad part is that obviously behind, I'm gonna have to go outside, take the slide out topper off just so I can get access to the rest of the seals on that. But on this side, I'll take all these screws out. I might be able to pry it out and take a look what's going on. But to do the job right, I'll have to seal it up from the outside too. You can see how rusty that screw is. It's getting the sunlight there. There you go. Should be just as bright on the ends as it is on the top. So water's definitely getting in there, even though it's pretty obvious. Right there, it's getting in there. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that. There's still water inside it, in the screw. It hasn't rained here for a while, so that's very disheartening. And even though he's complaining about it being a problem in the front, this is the rear of the slide where I'm getting all that water. So I had water there. That screw, obviously, and that one. It was just extruded aluminum. It's going to be really difficult for me to take off because it should be sealed really, really quite well. But I'm not seeing any sealant oozing out from there, so that's a little bit disheartening to me. I'm going to run the slide out, take the topper off, and go from there. I get a lot of questions about slide out repairs. I honestly don't like working on slide outs, and I'm going to tell you mostly it's because they aren't ever built right to begin with, and so I'm being handed a broken product that wasn't built, installed, or designed right, and I'm being asked to do it as quick, as fast, and cheap, and as long lasting as possible to own this slide out box that was not designed correctly to begin with. and it's a big box. Doing it in a mobile setup is already difficult enough. You're going up and down ladders a lot. Even windows. Windows are one of the oldest things in construction. All windows leak. They're a controlled leak. This is a big opening in a wall. It's gonna leak. Most of the time, they don't have controlled leaks, especially at the bottom. The industry's getting better about the leaks on them, but I've never seen a slide out that doesn't leak. The only ones that I know are built really, really well are going to be on buses, because the chassis manufacturer makes that, because that's part of the strength. And they have an air bladder seal all the way around them. And that's about as tight of a seal as you can get. Granted, those go bad too. Let me go outside, tear this thing apart. Sorry about my rant. This is a Carefree Colorado slide-out topper. I won't make a video about removing this one. Basically, I have to take this wrap off. You got screws, caps off, secure the tube, and then lay the whole thing up on the roof right there. Alright, so on this slide, the spring's on the front, and of course, just an idler on the back. You can see it right there. We get this thing out of the way, put up on the roof, and then we'll see what we're looking at. Alright, well, topper's out of the way, laying on the roof. I don't see anything obviously damaged as far as like any roof damage. It does look like somebody's been trying to do something to seal up over here. But if we take a look at the other side, seem to be leaking more in the back. So here's the wiper seal. They have a gutter right there. It'd be hard to see, but it's hard for me to show. There's a crack. Right. Or that angle meets the roof itself. It feels like it's loose. I'll assume there's screws going down holding it on, so water could get under there, under the screw holes, and then get in. I'm about to pull this slide out wiper seal down, just a crimp-on seal. Then we'll have a better view on the inside. So I'll pull that all out and make decisions after that. Alright, well, I just pulled off the slide out seal. This is a wiper seal. It's a double bulb with a wiper. And now you can see behind there a lot easier. It just snaps onto this lip right there. But definitely water's been getting behind there. It's easy to see right there. In fact, I still have water there. And this thing feels very loose. So that is not what I wanted to hear even a little bit. Great. First thing I'll have to do is go back inside, take this is the back side of that aluminum fascia. I'll take that apart and see if we can see what else is going on. It's just, you can kind of see sealant oozing here and up there. So that means this will be a pain. Now, of course, the other problem we might have is that, well, I don't like doing these, or working on slide outs in general, is there could be like 5 or 6 issues. I can fix 2 of them and not know about the other 3, or fix 1 of them, not know about the other one. And let's say I fixed the main water leak, but there's a smaller little water leak on the outside fascia that I didn't know about. I get told, hey, you fixed my slide out and it's still leaking. You have to do this all for free now. And I'm like, well, I fixed the one thing. It's very difficult to want to own a slide out repair. I mean, it's kind of the case in point right here. You can see how haphazardly that joint was put together. This top fascia is on top of this one, or the side one. Nothing wrong with that. But we go to the front one, you can see daylight coming through right there. Now the side fascia is coming all the way to the top, and the top one's kind of a butt joint meeting up to there. So this is how they're built. You can see this cabinet itself. See that gap right there? That shouldn't be gapped. So that's loose too. How far do I go? You know, it's taking a lot of doing, but I think I got this started to come out. Keep in mind, it's sealed up there really. It's glued on there pretty well, and it's one piece and it's extruded. And I can't bend this one because I don't have a replacement. So I have to make sure I don't damage it. Safe to say there's a lot of moisture in there for sure. Alright, let me put the camera down and get this thing off. It's pretty gross. So I don't think it's rained here in at least a month. There's still water. See all that water in there. You can definitely follow the dirt trail. It does start from the top. It comes down. So I would say this seal definitely let go. But that's a lot of water. Wasn't expecting to see all that. Yeah, that's loose as can be right there. So here's the backside of that fascia that you almost never get to see. The design of this extrusion that you right there adds a lot of structural strength to the whole thing. And how it interlocks with that one up there. So if we look at it, this is what's the top of the roof, and this is where there should be nothing but as much goop sealant as possible at the top. And it looks like there's a lot of voids. Like I would want all of this to be sealed really crazy well. And I'm gonna say it looks like it wasn't sealed very well. This is what it probably should look like right about here. You can see how clean all this is because water didn't get back there. Made it through that void there. And on the end, once it gets to there, it's inside the ceiling. Into there, goes into those screws. Of course, we already saw that was in the screws. You can kind of see the dirt coming around right there. Dirt coming around right there. That's not so good. Now I get to redesign this. So there's that angle brace on top that engages with the slide out seal bulb, the rear bulb. I'm going to go ahead and take that off because that was loose too. It's going to be the best time to address that. As you can see, that screw is also rusted. Doesn't look like there's too many screws in here. Let me get all of those taken out and then we'll look underneath. You guys should get a better view of this than I will because I can't put my head up there. But this seems to be coming up a lot easier than it probably should have. I'm not even sure how vital this thing is, to be honest. Look at all that water that's under there. You guys think water's getting under there? I do. Could just call Monaco and see what they think. Except the people that built this slide won't be there anymore, and people that own it now don't want to hear from me. So I would have expected to see a lot of sealant underneath here, especially around those holes, which of course I don't see. Nor do I see it underneath there, so that is likely going to be our problem. It's not very fair, is it? There's the roof. It's aluminum roof with a Luan underlayment. It's wet, but it's not too bad. I guess too much oxygen hasn't been getting in there. Yeah, so I'd say the factory never put sealant underneath that piece. That's not very kind. So I think when the factory installed this little angle guy, they decided to skip on any putty tape under here or any bead of sealant. And so that screw hole wasn't sealed. One thing that was sealed was a bead of sealant on the edge right there, and you could see that at the top got cracked. So once water got behind there, it was a straight shot into all those holes. You can kind of see water definitely puddles right next to all those holes. And once it gets in those holes, it gets into actual roof structure and probably comes out these holes too and starts filling up this entire roof with water. And then water just eventually finds its way out to the next place, which in this case was going to be right through there. Now the customer was putting a bucket there to capture water, and sometimes it would get on top of the fascia right there. This was a problem created in 2005, and this is 2020, almost 2021. So since this is going to be my redesign, I'm going to try to rethink how I might want to do this. I don't know that I like that angle up there. It's creating a channel, a dam behind that angle that water can get into and get stuck behind. I'd rather have the fascia be the seam. Let me try to explain that a little bit better. Here's the fascia. This would be the side wall, or the inside wall where my hand is. This was installed like that. See, it looked something like that. And so this section right here, if water got back there, it was stuck back there, and there's no way water's not going to get back there, because it's just a wiper seal that's kind of going right about here. This is supposed to engage the back side of that bulb seal, but I can almost guarantee it doesn't engage it very well. So I don't see a real advantage to having this one. I'll run that through the customer. I'd rather just clean this off really, really well, secure that roof down with some rivets, seal it all up, put this whole thing back together again. When that fascia is on, this becomes the sealing surface. Make sure it's sealed really well, and then of course, you know what I'm gonna have to do after I clean all this off and secure everything down is use some Eternabond. Go over this that entire seam right there, over the top, over the side right here, with a strip of Eternabond to use as a flexible flashing to help redirect water if it does get past there. This will be the primary seal right here, and the Eternabond will be flashing that will redirect the water. I mean, you guys know I don't like roof repair tape for sealant, but I do think it has some feature as flashing. I just don't really like it on slide outs because it does eventually catch the edge, but I'd rather make sure that it doesn't leak anymore. I'll run this by the customer, see what they want to do. Alright, so I wasn't going to put this trim back on because I didn't want it to cause a problem, but so this is what we look like from the outside. Well, I won't lie to you guys, I did not enjoy doing that. Now I have to clean up my tool before it gets destroyed. Figured it was best to replace this. So this is just a double bulb wiper seal. There's a profile of it. Some people in the industry call it something a little bit more crude than that. But okay, so I may or may not make this video. I may or may not make this video. Now, of course, hopefully 2021 is going to be a lot better, though. Yeah, put you guys down.